Well, there we go. We're down at the back end of the circuit, and the action is ready to come off the line. It's going to be James Dean to take on Jason Benet. This was my pick for the most exciting battle of our top 16 because two guys that want it. They want it bad. James Dean sits in a car that's a little bit battered and bruised now after being brand new just a couple of days ago. He sits in there, cool, calm, and collected in a machine that he knows very, very well. But he sits alongside a man that has been dominating in France. Very technical driver, very fast, very experienced. Jason Benet here for Drift Masters 2025, a full season to prove himself as a driver. He slams that car into gear, but he's got a big task on his hands as he chases down a man that has more titles and more trophies than anyone else in their cabinet. They get the green light to go, they're through the gears, and the first battle of top 16 is off, and Dean fires in, puts that car right to the edge of the circuit. Benet can hang with him, but he has to shortcut a little bit. You can see that shallow angle as Dean goes wide, picks up the very outer limit of the track, but here comes Jason Benet as he sticks it to the door, gives Dean the room to manoeuvre as he now tries to tuck up on the inside. Benet goes for it. Benet puts it to the back bumper across the line. James Dean is a machine, and that's why he's got that nickname. But now he has to chase down a man that he doesn't know. He hasn't really got any information about. There's nothing in the database about Jason Benet. He's a brand new entity to this championship. But let me tell you something about Jason Benet. He's got what it takes. We see him in practice, we see him in qualifying. He is a very good driver. He gets the thumbs up, but now he's got a big task. He's going to have that Mustang RTR breathing down his neck as they come off the line. It might be 900 horsepower, it might be 1,000 horsepower, but it's going to come down to one thing, and that's the person between the steering wheel and the pedals right now, as Jason Benet absolutely fires down. He goes nice and wide, flicks the car across the circuit. Dean there with him, matching the angle. A little blip of the throttle for Dean as he works his way into the groove. Jason Benet not putting a foot wrong in that lead position at the moment. Gets that car dialed into that outside zone, picks up the throttle, but he misses that inner, and that could be the nail in the coffin for Jason Benet. Slide him left for Benet, right for James Dean, and it's going to be James Dean, ladies and gentlemen, advancing through to the Grade A, and Jason Benet knew it straight away. That was going to be a tough battle, but what a contender. Keep your eyes on that Frenchman throughout 2025, because he's got a point to prove here at Drift Masters. Right, here we go. It doesn't stop getting heavier. Every single run of this top 16, again, looks like a final, as we mentioned in top 32. It's going to be Laurie Heinlein to take on Oliver Randleau. Look, Randleau has been on the podium before. Can he do it again? He has a big ask right now. Heinlein's on a flyer. He looks confident. No change in the car. He just nods to the cameraman. He said, thumbs up. I'm ready to rock and roll. It's business as usual for Laurie Heinlein. The Finnish driver sits alongside the Estonian of Oliver Randleau, and Randleau is in the zone. Look at this, fully focused. He's not messing around. He means business this weekend. The anti-lag fires as Randleau starts to creep, and he pulls away as Heinlein now fires through the gear. And look at this as they flick across. Randleau gets himself out of formation and makes a mistake on initiation, and it's business as usual for Laurie Heinlein. Sets himself up beautifully for outside zone 4, works his way down the hill and then back up. Now Randleau trying to find himself back into this fight, trying to gain some lost proximity. He's shallowing up the angle, cutting the circuit, and Heinlein looks rock steady. Almost driving a scale electrics, if you like, because it looks like that car literally goes exactly where it should do every single run. But now Randleau under some pressure, and he would have felt that in the car as a driver, but also been told that by his spotters.
Yeah, of course. He's going to have notes going into this and understand what he needs to do, which is going to be perfection. But that also means that Laurie Heinlein can chase as close as he wants.
Exactly, there we go. Heinlein would have been told to give him a little bit of room. There were some mistakes in that lead, but Heinlein now jumps into formation onto that back bumper, and he does give him the room to manoeuvre. Heinlein doesn't want to make any mistakes, doesn't want to put himself in any danger, but he does a little bit there as he drops a wheel off the edge of the circuit, kicks up some dust, and now Randleau starts to pull away. Heinlein not really putting himself in the fight, and I think Heinlein panicked a little bit there. He's shortcutting the circuit massively. Randleau fires all these outside zones through the checklist and across the line.
So, I mean, it could come down to some sort of power issue. He's pointing.
He's pointing, yeah. So what's his...
Axle?
Oh, has he got a D-bead? Oh, he's got a D-bead.
Wow.
So there we go. And I'll tell you when that happened, when he come into outside zone 4, I see the dust kick up there, and Heinlein dropped a wheel off the edge of the circuit. That gave him a D-bead, hence why he couldn't get through. And I'm also being told that James Dean's car is down to 6 cylinders for the runs. So James Dean won that battle on 6 cylinders. Fresh news coming from the paddock to my headset.
Now, I'm hoping that's not like a permanent 6 cylinders.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
They do have a full spare engine. I don't think there's enough time to make that swap. I have seen them. I mean, we even saw it yesterday where he was playing with spark plug wires, so maybe that's all it is. Let's hope that's all it is. But if anybody can figure out, it's going to be James Dean. Here's the thing, too. You're down 2 cylinders, and you have a lot of nitrous.
Hold that fault. Slide him left for Heinen and right for Randalou, and I knew this was going to happen. It's going to be Oliver Randalou, ladies and gentlemen, who takes it through to the top six, the Grade A. And I'm just going to quickly get clarification from the judges. The D bead deemed him out of competition. Yeah, it's a unanimous nod. You can't complete the run on a Dean bead. Oh, I mean, that is a big upset already for 2025. Laurie Heinen's going to have to work hard for that championship to try and fight it back now. He's on a back foot as Dean moves forward in Grade A. Jack Shanahan sticking to what he knows, and we found that a lot of the older drivers in the game will stick to what they know. It's been the method for many, many years, but a lot of the younger guys are opting to switch it up every now and then, which is interesting.
Yeah, Ron Nielsen, again, we've seen this a few times.
Positioning the car?
Positioning the car on an angle so he can just shoot in right behind Jack Shanahan. It's just interesting. The little things that you start to pick up and the driving habits. I love it.
Well, there we go. They get the thumbs up from both sides. We wait for that light to go green, and it does. And Shanahan jumps off the line. Oran Nielsen in chase as he now falls into formation. They both clutch kick in to that first outside zone, and Nielsen on to the back bumper at GT86 already as Jack Shanahan now locks up the handbrake. Look at that, perfectly into that outside zone, but that's opened the door for Nielsen, and it opens the door massively as he tags the rear wheel, almost pushes Shanahan through that outside zone. Nielsen back on the hunt again, back on the rear wheel across the line. Remember, Shanahan qualifying way up there, 4th yesterday. He was in the qualifying showdown battles. This is a man that once he's in the zone, once he's comfortable in the car, there's no stopping him.
Yeah, and he's looking very comfortable. You can tell when a driver's struggling to adapt or there's a change that they don't like. I think they set this, forgot it, and he's just been driving his race the whole time.
Yeah, here we go. Second half of the battle underway. Nielsen to lead out Shanahan. Shanahan now jumps to the back bumper of that Sora as Oran Nielsen puts foot to floor, unleashes all of the power from that 2JZ underneath the bonnet. Shanahan matches the angle though as they go into outside zone 4. A little wide for Oran Nielsen though as he puts a wheel over. Shanahan makes a dive, tags the side of that car on the rear wheel as they fire down into this inside zone. Can Shanahan take a bite out of the back of that car once again? He certainly tries to. Here we go, decision dropping in from the judges. Who's it going to be? Yeah, I see this one coming all the way from the beginning. It's going to be a one more time, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, just clean up, a little bit of cleanup, that's it. But that's how you learn, is make a couple of small mistakes, correct them for the next run. The hard part is going to be, it's going to be even tougher to judge on their next battle. Yeah,
it certainly will be. There we go. We go back to the start line. It's going to be Connor Shanahan's take on Alexei Olovnia as he sits on the line. 2 GT86s, 2 power plants that are identical, almost 2 similar power figures. This now, the machinery the same, comes down to just the driver.
Yeah, this is a true head-to-head battle here when you have that, and it makes for great tandem.
It certainly does. Well, 2 guys that have been driving for a long time. Shanahan, the 2023 Drift Masters champion, maybe a little bit more experienced, but Olovnia been around the block a few times, that's for sure. And look at that, it shows as Olovnia almost goes door to door and angle to angle as they fire through. Olovnia transitions before Shanahan. Shanahan in the outside zone though. Olovnia seems to be losing a little ground as Shanahan on an absolute flyer as they fire into outside zone 7. Olovnia once again loses some ground. Now starts to make it back across the line. The spotters will be in his ear saying, look, you're going to have to push. This is not going to be an easy battle. Olovnia is going to give you everything you need as a chase driver. He's going to give you all the tools. What can you do? He looks across for the line as Alexei Olovnia now sits on the line. The Ukrainian driver leads out. Connor Shanahan from Ireland. They fire through the gears. Look at this, Shanahan on the bumper, closer than Olovnia on initiation. Nothing separating these 2 guys at the moment as they fire through. Good transition from both of them as Olovnia leads him into outside zone 4. Nice line from the Ukrainian, but look at this from Shanahan. He shallows up the angle and noses the front of that GT86 in to the door of Olovnia's GT86. A little wobble there from Olovnia, but he gets through it. Final outside zone, door to door. Here we go. Who's it going to be? Connor Shanahan on the left, Alexei Olovnia on the right. 1 for Shanahan. There we go. Connor Shanahan gets the win. Advances through to the Grade A. Right, here we go. Pontus Hartmann finally gets a battle on his way. He got a buy run in that top 32 because unfortunately Piotr Wajcik not able to make competition. He now faced off against Ite Seda, who's looking strong this weekend.
Yeah, this will be a great battle. And we talked about this before with the drivers who got the bye run. You don't have a lot of battle tests. You've been sitting on ice for a really long time.
Well, technically, Ite didn't get a battle either because Marco Zaccaru bent those steering arms in the tyre warming area. He still did get the bye run, so did Pontus. But for me, Ite Seda in this new car, this new 2 Series, looking so strong.
Good point.
Well, there we go. It's time to find out who has got what it takes as they come off the line. It will be Pontus Hartmann to chase down Ite Seda. 2 BMWs, 2 similar power plants. And what have they got as they throw down? Look at this from Ite Seda already on the throttle. Big flick to initiation as he fires down now, scrubs some speed, a little shallow on the entry to outside zone 4. Pontus Hartmann has to shallow up the angle, almost got it wrong there and got himself into the wall. He's now losing ground on the young man as Itay Sada puts foot to floor, gets that final outside zone across the line.
Pontus Hartmann now taking the lead, and Itay Sada now needs to slow things down.
Yes, certainly so. So here we go, on the line, ready to rock and roll. We're waiting for the thumbs up from our start line. Marshall, Marcin down there, Pontus Hartmann eager to go. Now the anti-lag kicks in as the green light is shown and they are off and through the gears. And look at Itay Sada as he looks for the back bumper of that BMW E46. A big clutch kick from Pontus Hartmann. He tries as much as he can to avoid, but he can't get away. And he's trying to shortcut the circuit. And now look where that's put Itay Sada way out of formation. Hartmann up into the wall, and Itay Sada gets himself back into the final tag onto the door from Itay Sada. He's still coming into this one swinging. But that was a big mistake from both drivers. I'll be interested to see how the judges see that, how this one's going to play into. And there we go. It's going to be Itay Sada getting the win, advancing through to the Grade 8. Connor Falvey, the higher qualifier, sits in that lead position as Juha Poitalasko gets ready to rock and roll. You can see him pressing the button for the anti-lag. He's going to need all of that because this young man from Ireland is going to be on an absolute flyer as Juha Poitalasko is going to hunt him down. I'm getting so much drama in through information going on. We'll get back to that in a minute. We're going to get this battle underway first. Look at this. So from Poitalasko, he knows that Falvey's fast, and he's now jumping the start. He's waiting for Falvey to initiate as Falvey throws that carbon Kevlar S15, and he's not wrong. Falvey is fast. The carbon Kevlar can barely hold on as a young man from Ireland puts that rear wheel into the outside zone. He's up and gone, and Poitalasko, he needs to do something right now. He needs to dive. He needs to make a move because Falvey makes a big mistake, stalls up and has to get himself back into it.
Yeah, I mean, talk about having great drivers helping you out through this whole thing. Connor Falvey's got a big advantage that way.
Exactly that. Yeah, he's got a whole wealth of knowledge behind him, pushing him along. This is going to get interesting right now as Juha Poitalasko comes off the line in that lead position. Connor Falvey to give chase. Oh, look at this. Aggression already as Poitalasko fires the back end of that BMW in the face of Connor Falvey. And Connor Falvey now trying to make a dive. He's on the handbrake for a long while, and now he jumps into it. Look at Falvey, aggressive, but has to stall up massively. This is scrappy from both guys. Love to see what the judges are thinking on this one as Falvey goes to make another move on Juha Poitalasko, and he goes for the back bumper across the line. And here we go. Who's it going to be? Poitalasko on the left, Connor Falvey on the right. One vote for Connor Falvey. It's going to be Connor Falvey. Connor Falvey gets the win, advances through to the Grade 8. We move it along to the next battle in our top 16. It's going to be Juha Rittinen to take on David Spossop. Spossop getting that win over Naoki Nakamura with contact in that last outside zone across the line. He's very, very happy he's got into the top 16. He's going up against a steely competitor this weekend of Juha Rittinen.
Yeah, both drivers seen some contact, so hopefully the cars are ready to go and there's no mechanicals and we get a really nice heads-up battle here.
Yeah, I'm sure we can, and Rittinen must be in that right mindset that he said he wasn't in yesterday for qualifying as he now slams through the gears and stares down the back of that purple S15. They fire in, and look at this from Spossop. No messing around. He knows he's got Rittinen hot in pursuit, and that's a big mistake from Juha Rittinen. He went for the transition way too early, and now Rittinen makes a big mistake. He's down on the inside. He has to try and get himself back in formation, back on the side of the Polishman's S15 as Spossop finds that inner zone, looks for the final one across the line.
That's all of us.
And I think he got a little bit greedy, tried to dive down on the inside, like I say, and I think he knew he was going to make contact with Spossop, had to back out of it, and that completely mistimed his transition. He ended up way on the inside of the circuit. But now it's his time to lead out David Spossop. Spossop now going to be feeling a little bit of pressure. Maybe, will he go hard on the chase? He's going to jump off the line early, that's for sure, as they get the green light to go. It'll be Spossop to chase down Juha Rittinen. Rittinen smokes the tyres already, a big clutch kicker. Look at this, Rittinen up and gone. That car gripped up to the max as he fires through. Spossop not bothered though, just going to stick to that qualifying line. They both get to outside zone 4. Spossop into the wall though, goes too deep and throws the battle away as Rittinen thunders down the track as the anti-lag rattles around the building. Across the line goes Rittinen and Spossop buried in the wall. And look at Rittinen, he's got a smile on his face already. Decisions in. Juha Rittinen will get the win. Judges deeming David Spossop's incident independent. It was all his own mistake. So Rittinen gets the win, advances through to the Grade 8. Forklift goes, oh, look at this. Nielsen again. Look, positioning that car at an angle. Do you know what it reminds me of? Formula One starting grid.
Right.
Those guys gridding at an angle to try and gain that advantage, that little drive across the track.
It's
interesting.
But it's every little advantage that you need to take to do this. This is a game of inches.
Yeah.
Right? So even just angling it that little bit means that you can drive right in behind Jack Shanahan. You can time it out a little bit better. And if that's the difference, even if it's just, placebo, if it's just mental, if that keeps Uran Nielsen in the right headspace, then perfect. Who are we to judge?
Who are we?
We're not judges.
We're not judges.
No.
That's why. They're there, and they're
Right
always they're grumpy. Their faces are long today because it's been a long day already. Well, here we go. It looks like our start line Marshall Martin's getting the call to say that we are ready to send cars, and they're getting the thumbs up and they're getting told to watch the light. It will be Shanahan to lead out Nielsen. Look at Nielsen already jumping off the line like a lowrider. The front of that Sora popping up and down as he jumps onto the back bumper. Nice initiation from Shanahan as they get into it. Shanahan right to the edge of the circuit. Nielsen goes for a very brave transition behind Shanahan now, working his way into the groove, nose in the front of that Sora, right up to the door, starts to get lost in a cloud of smoke, and then dives through the smoke, flips up massively, has to shallow up again as he goes for the rear wheel of Shanahan's GT86. Right, who's it going to be? Slide him left for Shanahan, right for Nielsen. There's one vote for Shanahan. It's going to be Jack Shanahan taking the win, advancing through to the Grade 8.
So, little bit of games there. Little something going on. I didn't know if it was mechanical. I was hoping it wasn't mechanical.
No. I wondered if Korpolinski was going to just suddenly dart into the chase position.
The last
just
second.
mix things up for the last second. And there we go, he's in the car, ready to rock and roll, visor open, he looks across to the start line. Kevin Passeur, laser focus, doesn't even want to look at the camera, he's got his eyes on the prize. Visor goes down, that carbon fibre helmet, into gear he goes. Passeur to chase down Korpolinski, he knows what Korpolinski's capable of. This is a final battle of our top 16 as they come through the gears. Korpolinski clutch kicks that car to action. Kevin Passeur matches the angle, now starts to hunt him down as the Polishman puts that car right to the edge of the circuit. Kevin Passeur makes a mistake though, kicks the clutch, shortcuts outside zone 4 to try and find some proximity with Korpolinski as they flick. Almost mirror image, big angle from Korpolinski, almost messes up Passeur, but he deals with it across the line. As Korpolinski now pulls into that chase position, Kevin Passeur ready to rock and roll. And our start line Marshall Martin saying, look, you can be far back, but not that far back. We need your bumper on the line at least. Oh, here we go. Looks like they are ready to rock and roll. We wait for those lights to illuminate, we wait for the green light, and then Kevin Passeur will break that beam as Korpolinski already starts to creep forward. They are good to go. Through the gears goes Korpolinski. Oh, and he's massively behind. I'm not sure what happened there. But Korpolinski got left standing as Kevin Passeur fires that car into outside zone 4. Now Korpolinski has to play catch-up as Kevin Passeur is on an absolute flyer out front. There is no messing around for the Estonian driver as he puts the car right where it needs to be. Kevin Passeur close to missing that inside zone. He looks in the mirror and there's no Korpolinski on the back bumper. Yeah, here we go. Kevin Passeur on the left, Pavel Korpolinski on the right, and there we go. It's going to be a one more time. It's going to be a one more time. Interesting from the judges. There we go. Pavel Korpolinski pulls into the lead position as the higher qualifier, sticks with what he knows as Kevin Passeur now pulls into chase position. Ready to kick off our one more time battle between these two guys. They've already been at it once, just a few moments ago. Now time to get it down. Only one spot in the top 8 waits for these guys. And you can see Kevin Passeur, finger on the anti-lag button, ready to trigger it, ready to fire it off. And here we go, they get the green light to go. Korpolinski to lead out Passeur through the gears. Down they come, flick to initiation. Kevin Passeur back on that inside line again. Can he make it work this time? He can as he fires through an early transition. He's on the handbrake for a long time now, down on the inside, trying to work his way into the groove as Korpolinski goes super wide, dials on big angle, and they both deal with it as they fire through into that inside zone. Big clutch kick from Passeur, he's on the door across the line.
We're going to flip them back around, and we'll see Kevin Passeur now out in the lead, and Pavel Korpolinski take it in the chase.
Yeah, so here we go, they pull back up, and look, I mean,
I know. Yeah. What's next?
What is next? What do you do now as a driver? What do you sit there and you think, well, I should just drive 110%, I guess. Korpolinski already jumping that start, ready to rock and roll. He knows that Kevin Passeur's fast. He knows he pulled a massive gap on him. He won't let it happen this time. Much better from Korpolinski. But now he catches understeer. He goes a wheel off track, and he's left in a cloud of smoke once again as Kevin Passeur puts foot to floor, fires through outside zone 4. Pavel Korpolinski tries to get himself back in the question, back in the fight, as Kevin Passeur fires for a big angle. Look at this, dialed in, as Korpolinski looks for the back bumper. Here we go, left for Passeur, right for Pavel Korpolinski, and it is going to be Kevin Passeur from Estonia who gets the win and advances through to the top 8. Well, here we go. We go down back to the start line where all the stories are started and some of them finished, because right now James Dean isn't on the start line. He's back in the paddock with spark plug issues. They can't get that car to run on 8 cylinders. They're struggling to work out what's wrong with the car. Oliver Randalou, on the other hand, is warming tyres. As soon as he pulls to that start line, the 2-minute clock will be sold, and there you go. You see our marshal down there with James. He said 2 minutes to go. They have 2 minutes to get that car from the paddock to the start line to activate the battle.
And it's not a short drive. It's not like this is next door. He's basically on the opposite end of the track where we're seeing that large outside zone. They're even further back from that as we see the clock tick down. The next 1 minute and 50 seconds is going to determine the future of James Dean, potentially the future of the entire championship right here, because of 2 cylinders. So hopefully, I'm really hoping this ends up just being a spark plug wire issue or something small like that, but you don't know. These engines are so high strung, and they really beat these cars into submission every single run.
Yeah, it is. It's like a wrestling match between the driver and the car some of these times, because the driver is wrestling this car into doing what it needs to do. Here he goes, the bonnet shuts on James Dean's car. He fires it up. It sounds like it could be running on 8 cylinders. He looks at the dash, and you can hear a miss. You know these cars. He looks across to the cameraman and he says, is it enough? He doesn't know. He shakes his head. He slams it in gear. He says, well, look, we only have one opportunity, Jacob, and that's just to go for it. Yeah. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, we tried everything we could. Drama already at round 2 at Drift Masters 2025 as James Dean makes his way to the start line. This is hanging on by a thread. 50 seconds to go. He's going to make it in time, I'll tell you that. But will the car make it to the end of this run?
Yeah, and really, James isn't going to know exactly how this car is running or operating until he makes it into the burnout box. It's the same story we saw with Dave Egan, where, okay, everything runs, it seems okay, gets into the burnout box, realizes there's an issue, and goes to send it anyways. James Dean's got a full engine sitting in those pits. I know they thought about swapping it, and I know they looked at the time and said, I don't think it can happen. And this is it. 20 seconds remain for James Dean to get that car to the lines. You can see him firing down what is, I believe, the front straight of this racetrack. Yeah, and he's already trying to scrub in those front tires on the way over, because he's not going to have a lot of time to scrub in the back. So.
No, he certainly isn't. He's probably been doing a little bit of tyre warming as much as he can. Yeah, look, and he's been given the signal. He made it in time, just about. But yeah, our start line Marshall Martin's like, look, we need to go. And look at Oliver Randalou in the car. He's like, hey, I've been sat here for 2 minutes. I need to re-warm my tyres. Yeah. Oh, look at this. And Randalou now starts to put on a protest.
I mean, I get it. So let's see here. Did they just say they timed out?
No, he's been disqualified from competition.
No
Oliver
way.
Randalou gives a signal to say it's been 2 minutes. Randalou leaves the line, and James Dean is disqualified at the line.
Wow. This is something we are going to be talking about for a very, very long time. But at the end of the day, the rules are the rules. You have 2 minutes. Everybody plays by the same clock. And this one ran out on James Dean.
Yeah, look at James Dean. He accepts the fate, and he shakes our start line Marshall Martin's hand and says, look, what can I do? Yeah. He knew he couldn't fire that car into that first turn without warming the tyres. No. It's too risky. It's too dangerous. James has already been in a situation this weekend that he was so upset about, he didn't even want to talk about it with anyone else. And James wouldn't take that risk again. That's because he is the machine, the sportsman.
So, probably saying, oh, you should have,
should have called me
over, but either way.
Well, there we go. We need to make it official, and it is official. Oliver Randalou will get the win and advance through to our final 4. It is Connor Shanahan to face off against Jack Shanahan for a spot in the final 4. I don't even know what to say with this one. Jack Shanahan takes the lead position. No games played between the brothers. They stick in formation, the thumbs up. There's a lot of pressure here from both guys. This is all about bragging rights, going back to the paddock to say you might be the champion, the former champion, but you couldn't beat me in Spain.
Or it goes the opposite way. This is why I'm a champion.
Exactly that. Well, here we go. The car slam into gear. Shanahan versus Shanahan. Connor to chase down Jack as they come through the gears. Look at this. Connor Shanahan straight onto the back bumper of Jack's GT86. They fire through. No messing around. Clean cut so far as they both put it right to the edge of the circuit for outside zone 4. Connor Shanahan starts to creep up on his brother, put the front wheel to front wheel, but Jack is on an absolute ripper, but Connor fires down on the inside, noses wheel to door across the line. It will be Connor to lead out Jack. as they wait, they let that clock run down to the last moment before they pull to the line. And Connor now to lead him out as Jack Shanahan says, yeah, I'm ready to go. He gives him the thumbs up. We wait for the door to slam close. The cars bang into gear. And Connor is given that green light to go. And it will be Connor to lead out Jack as they come through the gears. Fourth gear selected as they flick through initiation. Look at that, Jack having to hit the foot brake before making contact with Connor as they fire through. Connor goes wide. He sets himself up lovely for outside zone 4. But look at this from Jack, matching the angle, matching the proximity all the way through. The transitions don't even make sense as Connor Shanahan leads Jack right to the edge of the circuit and across the line. As well, here we go, slide him left for Connor, right for Jack Shanahan. It's going to be one vote for Jack Shanahan. It's going to be Jack Shanahan getting the win, advancing through to the final 4.
All right, moving into a little bit more Irish action here with Connor Falvey taking on Itasidi. Same thing. A lot on the line here. A lot of, I mean, I'll put it frank, a lot of ego on the line here.
Yeah, look, there's a lot on this line here for bragging rights going back to school on Monday morning after this is over. Connor Falvey will sit there and say, yeah, you know, I took down that guy from Israel. He's same age as me. He's got BMW, 1,000 horsepower. We went to battle in the Great 8 at Drift Masters in Spain. Falvey would love to win, but Ite said has been away in the off-season. He's got new machinery. He's dialed in, he's focused, but Falvey has a lot behind him. He has a whole wealth of experience on the sim, behind him, pushing him, and look at it, it's coming through right now as Falvey fires that carbon Kevlar S15 across the track. Ite Seda makes a huge mistake, triangulates the track. It's scruffy from Ite Seda as Falvey looks rock solid out front. Ite now trying to take a bite out the back of that S15. He jumps onto the rear wheel, gives him a tag. Across the line they go. I mean, look, 17-year-old versus an 18-year-old.
They're going to be veterans by the time they're 22.
They'll be retired. They would have done way more than me and anyone else would have ever have done in drifting. They'll be retired, giving tips to everyone else, saying, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
Because when I was 16, I beat James Dean in the battle. So here we go. You can see Falvey pulling forward off that line, wants to get a bit more closer to the back of Ite Seda to run in as we wait for that light to go green. This is for a spot in the final 4 for one of these guys. It'll be the biggest achievement so far of their Drift Masters career. Here we go, through the gears they go, tyres smoking already for Ite, and it allows Falvey to get nice and close. Good initiation though, as he starts to pull a gap. Connor Falvey playing this one careful, 6 that qualifying line at the moment. Ite on the absolute blinder as he puts it into outside zone 4. Falvey has to shallow up the angle as Ite goes nice and wide. Falvey going to shortcut, drop down the inside, and he does. Nudges the front end of that S15 straight to the door. Understeer again for Falvey. Yeah, I mean, look, whatever way this goes, it's going to be the best result for either of these guys. Left for Ite Seda, right for Connor Falvey, and yeah, it's going to be the man from Israel. Ite Seda takes it through to the final 4.
We move into our next battle of Juha Rintanen and Kevin Passeur. Both drivers having some mistakes in their previous battles need to be perfect here in order to move on to our final 4.
Yeah, certainly so. Look at this, that ritual I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Rintanen does it every single time. Punches the steering wheel, nods the head, he gets himself focused.
Like
and
he's shoving himself in that seat too.
Gets himself deep in the seat, straps himself in as tight as he'll go. And look at this, Passeur won't even look at the camera. He's focused, fully in the zone. Visor goes down as soon as he sees that light illuminate. Slots the car into gear and he's going to give chase to a man that has some serious credentials in European drifting right now as Juha Rintanen leads him out. Big clutch kick for Rintanen. And look at that from Passeur. He waited too long.
Whoa!
Both guys drop a wheel over the edge of the circuit as Kevin Passeur holds on. Oh, no! Rintanen's into the wall. He takes a tyre off the rim. He can't hold on to it. His wheel's off track. And Passeur makes his way past an illegal overtake and makes his way down and across the line. Team incredibly busy. There we go. We make it official. All judges in favour of Kevin Passeur, of course, because Juha Rintanen forced his own error, knocked himself off track. Kevin Passeur, well, again, another driver that told me this was going to be the weekend, and so far looks like it is going to be the weekend.
We near the end here, and Jack Shanahan pulling up into that lead line. Randaloo falling back into the chase section.
Yeah, no option for Oliver Randalou. Jack Shanahan opting to lead first and keeping to that, that formation that we're used to for many years of drifting. Jack Shanahan doesn't want to rewrite the script. Maybe later on in the year he'll try and switch it up a little bit, but this round, for now, Jack Shanahan feeling comfortable. Look at that, thumbs up, he's ready to rock and roll, and he would have been given all the encouragement for everyone in the paddock, everyone behind the scenes saying, look, this could be the time to shine. But Randalou, he says, I've been here before, I've been in a final. I want to get back in that final. I want to be back on the podium. He doesn't even look at the camera. He's fully focused as Randalou waits to get the signal from our start line, Marshall Martin. This is it. This is the first battle in our final four. They get the green light to go, and they are off the start line through the gears. It's going to be Jack Shanahan to lead in Oliver Randalou, and it looks slow, but it isn't slow as Shanahan clicks the clutch. Randalou is all over the side and the back bumper of that GT86. Jack Shanahan fires into outside zone 4 and Randalou onto the door. Look at this, tucked up close and personal. Randalou is not messing around. Here is Mate. How did he even do that? It didn't even make sense. Randalou is a man possessed right now.
Yeah, at some point you don't think about driving and it's just pure instinct, and that's what that was. That was just pure instinct of I'm going to turn my brain off. I'm just going to drive how I know how to drive.
Well, there we go. It's time to switch him around. Shanahan would have been given all the notes from the spotters to say, look, you need to go above and beyond right now. The lead from Shanahan was exquisite.
Yeah, at some point you don't think about driving and it's just pure instinct, and that's what that was. That was just pure instinct of I'm going to turn my brain off. I'm just going to drive how I know how to drive.
Well, there we go. It's time to switch him around. Shanahan would have been given all the notes from the spotters to say, look, you need to go above and beyond right now. As they come off the line, they get the green light. Randalou slams through the gears. Jack Shanahan now falls into the position, but Randalou is up and gone. Can Shanahan make up some lost ground here? He makes a dive, he fires it on big angle. He's coming in backwards to Randalou. That's insane from Jack Shanahan as Randalou glues it to the outside line. Now Jack Shanahan trying to repay the favour. As Randalou drives on the angle, he goes for that inner and outer zone. And look at that, Shanahan pushing him across the line.
Part of me wants to know what they're saying, but I think
it's not PG, so we can't say it. There we
go.
Who's it going to be? Oh, it's going to be a one more time. There's no messing around. The judges just look at me and go, oh yeah, we're going to do that thing again. These two guys are going to go at it again as Kevin Passeur, the higher qualifier, decides to chase first.
Ooh, and the plot thickens, Ian. This is where I knew this stuff would come into play. You're
in the final four, you decide, oh, hey, let's just throw everything out the window.
You got to break their routine. We talk about them, having their warm-up routine, their routine in the car. You go into it thinking, okay, this is what he's always done, this is what he's going to do. That little moment of, oh, I'm going to have to lead first? Oh, hang on, wait a minute, I was not ready for that. Even if they don't admit it, even if it's just a small little thing in the back of their head, it can make all the difference. Kevin Passeur, so excited to get out there, forgets to plug in his radio.
Yeah, couldn't hear his team.
Might have did that on purpose.
We've seen that before.
Yeah, don't need
just unplug that.
Don't need you.
I don't need to talk to you for a minute. Well, look at this. Ite said he's been asked a question here by Kevin Passeur. It's, you lead first. You show me what you got. Show your hand.
Yeah,
that's what he wants to know. Show your hand. Show your cards. Well, the cars slam into gear. They get the thumbs up from Martin as the light goes green. It is go. This is for a spot in the final. Who is going to take it through? And these guys absolutely hammered down. Look at this. Kevin Passeur observing Ite today. Says, okay, so you're fast on initiation. He throws a wheel off circuit, though, does Kevin Passeur. And Ite today puts that car right to the edge of the track, right on the white line. Passeur now starting to gain some ground, finds the side of that BMW 2 Series. They fire through. Big transition, big angle from both guys, but Passeur gets it wrong, collects the cone across the line.
So we swap them back around. Kevin Passeur going to be taking the lead. Let's see if that choice to chase first plays into his hand.
Yeah, as they pull to the line, silence falls on the circuit. I think everyone's holding their breath for this one as Kevin Passeur sits in that lead position. Ite Celeste sits in the chase. They're off the line, ready to rock and roll. Through the gears they go. As Ite Celeste falls behind massively now as Kevin Passeur puts foot to floor, starts to fire down through the circuit, gets that car set up lovely for outside zone 4. Ite now finds his way in to the door, into the pocket as Kevin Passeur fires that car across the circuit down, big angle once again, stands on the throttle, misses that inner clip, up the hill he goes, and Ite just about gets himself in the conversation. And that is, well, who's going to take it through to the final? Will it be Kevin Passeur? Will it be Ite Sada? Both these guys want it. It's got one for Ite Sada. It's going to be Ite Sada. He gets the win, advances through to the final. Kevin Purser from Estonia will head to the 3rd and 4th place playoffs, and look what it means to this young man. He's absolutely ecstatic. Well, we're about to find out because he's warming the tyres up and he's going to pull to the start line.
Nope.
No, he doesn't. He keeps it as he is. He pulls into that lead position. Jack not changing what he's used to. Jacob, that's just what he knows.
Pattern.
Yeah,
it's just pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah. I pull into this spot, I run my lead run, and then I door him the next one.
Yeah,
that's all it's going through.
But Oliver Randalou says, okay, well, I'll just door you first, like he did last time.
And there's a bit of an advantage. Randalou, I mean, he's got fresher tires in the chase. It's much easier to run a chase like that. So, but yeah, Jack, creature of habit.
Yeah. Knows what he likes, sticks to what he knows.
This is true, very true.
Exactly that. So there we go, they sit on the line ready to go. Randalou, I mean, I don't know what more Randalou could do in that chase, because it was phenomenal from where I was sitting, that's for sure. And I'm sure you guys watching online with us will agree. But the light goes green and they're through the gears. It will be Shanahan to lead out Randalou as they flick through the gears and flick the cars to angle. And look at this from Randalou, he's closer than he was before. Pushes Jack Shanahan as wide as he'll go to the edge of the circuit. They scrub the speed down into outside zone 4. Shanahan fulfills the outside zone and Randalou's back there again. Will he try it? He certainly does. He drops down on the inside. Randalou more aggressive than he was before, closer than he was before across the line. Watching on the big screen as Shanahan pulls into the chase position, the thumbs go up either side, the door slams shut, the cars go into gear and they come off the line under the green light. It will be Randalou to lead out Jack Shanahan. Only one spot in the final away, so look at that, a strange initiation for Randalou. Massive understeer for Jack Shanahan, he has to shut it down as Randalou given the opportunity to drive away. I would love to know what happened to Jack Shanahan as they fire through. Randalou puts the car right where it needs to be, stands on the throttle, whatever on the foot brake, and gets it across the line. Well, there we go, they're out of the cars. A round of applause for both those guys. Love to find out what happened to Jack's car. He goes over to the front wheel, has a look, and I think he says, yeah, no, it wouldn't do it. Yeah, just that power steering, just understeered clean off the edge of the track. Unfortunately, nothing Jack could do. Start him left for Jack, right for Oliver Randalou. Who's going to the final? Of course, it's going to be Oliver Randalou. Oliver Randalou gets the win, advances through to the final. Jack Shanahan will face off against Kevin Purser in the 3rd and 4th place playoff. That is going to be interesting if they can get that car fixed. There's not a lot of time. Well, here we go, back on the line we go. Jack Shanahan in that lead position to take on Kevin Purser, and we're hearing from behind the scenes and from the paddock, nothing wrong with the car. He just caught massive understeer trying to hang with Oliver Randalou and put that car off circuit. So Jack's saying, look, the car is fine, I just couldn't, the understeer was just too much, and that's the point. We've got these cars gripped up to the max, to track now, fully gripped in, fully rubbered in, ready to rock and roll. Purser wants a podium. And the visor will slam shut on that carbon fibre helmet as Jack Shanahan slams the door of his GT86. The light goes green and we are good to go for the playoffs here. Who will take 3rd step on the podium as they slam through the gears? Shanahan flicks that car across the circuit. And look at this from Purser, much better as he puts himself into formation. Shanahan on the handbrake into outside zone 4, nice and wide, but look at that from Purser. He's tucked up on the inside, onto the door he goes as they fire through. Now Purser down again on the inside. An incredible chase from Kevin Purser as they go wheel to wheel. It certainly is amazing, and it's certainly been an incredible show this weekend from the beginning to the end, and we're not over just yet as Jack Shanahan pulls to the line to chase down Kevin Purser for the 3rd step on the podium. Could we decide it here in just one battle as the visor slams shut, the door slams shut, the cars are in gear, the light goes green and they are good to go as Purser now leads out Shanahan for possibly the last run. Look at this, some separation already as Kevin Purser puts foot to floor. Now Shanahan starts to regain some of that lost ground on the handbrake early. For Shanahan as he dives in on the door, Purser on an absolute winder of a lead line at the moment. Shanahan trying to find the door, that BMW as they transition down. Shanahan throws all the angle at it, but he stalls him up as Purser brings him across the line. Well, here we go, decisions in. Who's it going to be? Left for Purser, right for Shanahan. It's one vote for Purser. It's going to be Kevin Purser. He takes 3rd step on the podium here at round 2 of Drift Masters 2025. This is it. This is what every moment of the day has been building up to. 2 guys, 2 BMWs, 2 very different engine builds, but 2 same power. One 18-year-old guy faces off against a man who's been on the podium before at Drift Masters. He's done multiple seasons in Estonia, multiple seasons in Drift Masters. He knows the ropes, but he never got to the top step of the podium just yet. This man has never got this far in competition as of yet. This is a dream for Itay Seder. What can he do in this brand new car? This is it. The road to the championship begins for one of these drivers. Who could it be? The light goes green. Itay starts to creep off the line already. Oliver Randalou slams through the gears as BMW goes against BMW. They fire in, identical initiation. Randalou almost straight lines, there's that much grip in the car. He fires into outside zone 4, puts the car where it needs to be, and Itay Seder has nothing at the moment. He's not in the conversation. Randalou is a man possessed as he puts that car right to the edge of the circuit from angle to angle. Top 5, I'm going to say now that if he would have put one of these lead lines down in his qualifying, he probably would have been way up there, but he just can't. He couldn't do it yesterday. The nerves were too much. Round 2 nerves settled in for him, but now he's blown off the cobwebs. He feels back at home in this BMW. The story could come alive for Randalou right now as he sits there feeling even more confident, knowing that Itay Seder wasn't on the door. He couldn't give him the chase. Itay Seder says, I still believe I can be there. I can still believe I can win a round of Drift Masters. Who will it be standing on the top step? Let's find out as they go through the gears. Randalou looks across to Itay Seder as they fire those cars in. Randalou now loses a little ground as Itay puts a car right to the edge of the circuit, but Randalou goes wide. Wheels over the edge of the circuit. He holds on to it. How did Oliver Randalou hold on to that run? He glues it to the side of Itay Seder's 2 Series BMW. They fire through the inner zone as Randalou takes another bite out of the back bumper. Well, here we go. They're on track, arm in arm, because for both of these guys, it's a dream come true. But who will be the round 2 winner? Slide them left for Randalou, right for Seder. It's going to be the man from Estonia. Oliver Randalou does it. He wins his first ever round of Drift Masters and takes the top step on the podium. He's elated. He jumps onto the roof of the car. Years of hard work, struggle and pain come to this moment as Oliver Randalou finally does it. The emotions burst out of him, and that to any driver means the world. Oliver Randalou wins round 2 of Drift Masters here in Spain 2025. Itay Seder, he did everything he could, but Randalou was the man this weekend to get the job done.